And we begin with judicial matters. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has struck out two interlocutory motions filed by Senate President Godswill Akpabio in the ongoing case challenging the 6-month suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan, who represents Kogi Central. In a unanimous decision delivered by a 3-member panel led by Justice Haman Barka, the court dismissed the motions after they were withdrawn by the appellate. A cost of 100,000 naira was awarded against Akpabio. Enlisted as respondents in the appeal are Senator Akpoti-Oduaghan, the clerk of the National Assembly, the Senate, and Senator Neda Imaswa, chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions. In the meantime, Justice Obiora Gwatu of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has dismissed the no-case submission filed by former JAMB Registrar D.B. Ojirinde, who is facing an 18-count charge over an alleged 5.2 billion naira fraud. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, accused Ojirinde of abusing his office and diverting public funds while heading JAMB and NECO. Justice Ogwatu ruled that the ICPC's witnesses have established a prima facie case requiring Ojirinde to enter a defense. Meanwhile, the court adjourned the case to July 16th. Ojirinde, who pleaded not guilty, has previously attempted a failed plea bargain. The allegations against him violate several provisions of the Corrupt Practices Act and Advance Fee Fraud Act. And off to politics, the former Director of Public Affairs at the defunct National Electoral Commission, Tijjani Reijnders, has cautioned against political defections, stating that votes belong to political parties and not individual candidates. Speaking at the first annual lecture series of the National Association of Political Correspondents in Abuja, Reijnders stressed that Nigeria's constitution recognizes political parties as the legal owners of electoral mandates. He emphasized that the trend of politicians switching parties and attempting to carry electoral mandates with them is legally and morally wrong, calling for national consensus to curb the practice. And now joining us is our correspondent Joshua Marai. He joins us now for more update. Joshua, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Judith.
Let's just get started with Mr. Tony's comments saying that, votes belong to parties and not individuals. What is your take on just that first lecture series there?
Well, this is maybe the largest gathering of journalists who covered the June 12th election that was annulled under the regime of General Ibrahim Babangida. So there were several comments as regards the democracy of Nigeria and for effective election management to thrive in Nigeria. One of which is the defection of politicians after winning their mandate and proceeding into office. He said that this is not the moral and legal thing to do, that the Constitution only guarantees that only National Assembly members have that opportunity to defect, particularly if they have issues in their party. So he also went further to say that only then can they cross carpet, that it is not proper for state governments or state governors or presidents to cross carpet, like the case might be. This is not the only issue they raised during this series. They also raised issues as regards to the debate surrounding the immortalization of Humphrey Nwosu, the then electoral commissioner of the National Electoral Commission. There was you recall that there was a heated debate between lawmakers as regards the immortalization of Humphrey Nwosu. They are of the opinion and they share the sentiment that if Nigeria truly acknowledge good government and good election management, that the first thing to do is the immortalization of Humphrey Nwosu and so forth.
Well, Joshua, many thanks. We appreciate you for coming on, Joshua. Thank you so much for that update there, Joshua Mariah, correspondent live in Abuja. And we head off from Abuja to Rivers State, where the sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibok-Ete has said the proposed 1.48 trillion naira 2025 budget anticipates the return of suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara and other affected political office holders. Ibas made this known in Abuja on Wednesday while defending the budget before the House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee on River State Oversight. According to him, the proposed budget aligns with the strategic objectives of the River State Development Plan 2017 to 2027. He also noted that the proposal presents a strategic and integrated framework designed to raise revenues and accelerate infrastructure development, enhance human capital, and promote inclusive economic growth across all sectors.
The 2025 budget was particularly designed to account for and regularize expenditures already undertaken during the first quarter of the fiscal year by the suspended administration before the state of emergency declaration by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu this year left out. Regrettably, some state officials withheld critical information required to ensure a more complete capture of those expenditures at the time of submission of the budget estimates. However, recognizing the exigencies under the state emergency and the need to ensure fiscal credibility, the budget framework integrates expenditure information made available before the submission of the budget proposal to ratify the first quarter expenditures within a lawful and transparent structure. This ensures alignment with statutory appropriation protocols while safeguarding the integrity of public finance management. Additionally, in anticipation of the eventual return to constitutional order, the draft budget prudently retains provisions for the offices and functions of suspended political actors, some of whom have already drawn on allocated resources in the first quarter and are expected to resume their duties at the expiration of the emergency period.
And now to infrastructure. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday inaugurated 8 trial roads in the Katampa area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Wednesday's program was day 2 of 17 in a marathon inauguration of infrastructural projects undertaken by the Federal Ministry of the FCT under the leadership of Nyesom Wike. Scheduled to run between June 10th and July 3rd, the projects are lined up as part of the FCT Ministry's efforts at commemorating the 2nd anniversary of President Bola Tinubu's first 4-year term.
No contractor would take that risk. And that is why we believe that if contractor companies know that the government they are dealing with, they will be paid. They will go about doing their work. As I speak to you now, companies, contractors are competing among themselves. Just let them award the job. Most of them have gone without even giving them the initial mobilization. That is confidence building, and that's what you've created. And I want to thank the management of SCDC. No one contract that you are awarded under the FCT would be abandoned. By the time you do your 3rd year in office next year, you will see that virtually all the contracts you are awarded under you as the president, as the chairman of the Federal Council, will all have finished them to the glory of God.
To the glory of God, I declare this road commissioned and the benefits of humanity. May God bless Abuja Capital Territory, bless Nigeria, and keep our troops safe. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, the project commissioning series in the Federal Capital Territory, which is running from June 10th to July 3rd, started on Tuesday with the commissioning of the newly rehabilitated International Conference Center in Abuja. News Central's correspondent Bettina Nweli, who witnessed the event, reports that the center has undergone a comprehensive rehabilitation to modernize its structure, enhance safety features, and incorporate state-of-the-art conference technology.
In a significant stride towards enhancing Nigeria's global stature, President Bola Tinubu officially commissioned the newly rehabilitated International Conference Center. The facility now boasts of upgraded meeting rooms, expanded exhibition spaces, and improved accessibility features.
When I attended the conference of ECOWAS Parliament here, it was a very dirty, disorganized, inhabitable environment. Aside from the side talk with the Senate President, I turned to Wike. I said, but this conference center is not reflecting who we are. Have we sunk this low? He said, no, but bear with us. We will do whatever we can do to transform the place. We won't come back to find it in a dilapidated, uninhabitable situation that it is. And today I am very, very happy.
The renovation, which commenced in April 2024, included upgrades to conference halls, lighting systems, and other facilities, and has also been renamed the Bola Tinubu International Conference Center.
If you are not the kind of person who would have not done this work, pressure came left, right, and center. He said, go ahead and rehabilitate that place. And we thank God for showing that leadership. And that's what we have always said. Our problem is leadership. When you have the right leadership, things will get done. The property under you and the building is under you. Let these people have small names in those, but let them know that it is under Bola Tinubu International Conference.
The revitalized ICC is expected to boost Abuja's status as a hub for international conferences and contribute to the city's economic growth. In Abuja, for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
Many thanks to Bettina Nwili for that report. Now, in due time, our correspondent Sumaya Abubakar will join us for more on these inaugurations. She joins us live from Abuja. But first, let's go on a short break, shall we? When we return, we'll bring in that discussion. Stay with us. And welcome back. And now, due to the 17-day series of inaugurations that will be taking place in FCT, we're now on day 2. Our correspondent Sumaya Abubakar joins us now for more on these events. Sumaya, many thanks for just being patient. Let's just get started. What was the event all about today? Today being day 2 of this 17-day series of inaugurations.
Good afternoon, Judith. Yes, like you said, today is the day 2 of the President's commissioning about 17 projects in the FCT, but of course this is the second event, and currently and presently I'm standing on the bridge, which is the Gishiri Bridge that was commissioned by the President and also the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. And to my right-hand side, you can see where the event happened. Of course, everything has been put down right now, but this is exactly where it happened, where the President came. This is the bridge. We're standing on it right now. Already it's on use, and people are using the bridge for movement. Of course, this is the second day. The President is here. He showed so much happiness and appreciation for this. Now, the amazing thing about this project is that every time in Nigeria, there's always a complaint of how long, projects like this take place. But this project started, this administration started this project since just 8 months ago when the project was awarded. And today, of course, there is commissioning of this project. And one of the things the minister promised is that any work or any projects that they started themselves, they are going to make sure that they accomplish it. And of course, this Gishiri Bridge is connecting the Maitama district area and the Gishiri community. They had to take the people here, compensate them in order to create this road so that people would benefit from it, and it could help Nigerians, in terms of the economic growth, because we all know that one of the key infrastructure in the country that is needed is road. So this bridge that was done would really help the people of these communities and even Abuja in general.
Well, and what's day 3 going to look like? Do you have any idea of what day 3 would look like in terms of the inauguration series?
For now, we don't know what day 3 is going to look like, but what we are aware of is that before the end of the day, they would let us know where to go next for tomorrow. And or tomorrow would be public holiday, I beg your pardon, it will start on Friday. So before then, they will be telling us what exactly will be happening then. But then one thing that we are assured of is that Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, would commission 10 out of these 17 projects. So that we are aware of, and we're hoping that we get to see more, infrastructure. But then one thing about this project that was done is that it's not just about roads. It's beyond, road. It's about every part of infrastructure that could help the economic growth of the country. So the president is doing that, and the administration is promising, of course, that they would see to the end of all of this project. So hopefully day 3, which would be Friday, would come with another exciting project that Nigerians would be pleased with.
Well, only time will tell. I must say thank you, Sumaya Abubakar, there, correspondent live from Abuja at the scene of the inauguration for the second day of inauguration of infrastructure development in the FCT, as a Federal Capital Territory. We switch gears from the capital now to politics, as a pro-democracy group has called for the nullification of the recently conducted APC primary election in Oshodi local government area of Lagos. Now, the Center for Policy and Good Governance at a press conference in Lagos says it has sufficient grounds on the issue of age falsification, certificate forgery, and perjury to disqualify the chairmanship candidate. The group urges the concerned leaders and stakeholders in the party to promptly address the matter to uphold the principles of democracy.
Based on the proof of the NIN, it has shown and proven that the executive chairman and the candidate of the APC in the forthcoming local government election falsified his age. It is pertinent to know that the said candidate had previously falsified his age to meet up the requirement in the 2023 House of Representatives, 2003 House of Representative election, and now wants to arm twist the other aspirants who have credible and genuine documents for the election. We have sufficient grounds on the issue of age falsification, certificate forgery, and perjury to disqualify the candidacy of Mr. Kehinde Adeola Oloyede Almaroof.
If you have committed an offense against the law, it is an offense. And falsehood is falsehood. And this is fraudulent. So we expect that the leaders of the party will do the right thing and face or direct the party in the right direction. We do not expect that someone that has falsified his age should be fielded as the sole candidate for Oshodi local government area. So that's why we are making this press conference.
And of Abia State, where the people of Ohabiri Umuchime na Amunso autonomous community are now facing what may be their worst fears in erosion menace following the total collapse of their major access route to the villages. The villagers also called, for the obtained time, has called on the government to come to their aid in order to save the lives and property of their people. The traditional ruler, Eze Ihenaya Chukwu Ezigbo, has also beckoned on the ancestors to save the community.
I felt so bad when I behold this my co-wife. See her there. She's the owner of this house. She's my co-wife and she's the owner of this house. The sincere truth about this matter is we, the women, are so much affected by this menace that this erosion has caused. Our children cannot cross here like the men have said to access their school. So also our farm work. Please, my knees are on the ground, please. Whosoever is concerned, whether the federal government or Abia State government, I plead that you people will show us mercy. Please, you people should show us mercy. Because Gary is so expensive and we cannot access our farms. Please, we need help. Urgent help for that matter.
The 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has raised alarm over the worsening insecurity and economic situation in Nigeria. At the launch of a new book titled Obi, the Political Change Agent in Abuja, the former Anambra State governor expressed deep concern over the condition of citizens, describing the country as a crime scene that needs urgent attention. He emphasized that while the country is not officially at war, many citizens live like refugees both at home and abroad.
Hey, all of us know that we must work hard to dismantle this crime scene called the country now. Because there's no way we will be able to survive with this. Today in Nigeria, we're not at war. Nigerians are in refugee camp in their own country. Nigerians are refugees in Chad. Nigerians are refugees in Cameroon. And we are not at war. The only reason is that we don't have a government who cares for the people. People are being killed daily. Nobody goes to say to them, we're sorry. Nobody visits them. Nobody cares. All you get in Nigeria is that some people are rich, so they can afford to celebrate. We're not going to where we're going to do celebration, close street, do this and everything. People are being killed every day. Nigerians are dying every day. What we are doing is to use the resources. I visited so many primary health care where there's no toilet, where there's no nothing. All we are doing is to use resources to build, renovate house, renovate the building, build the mansion, do this and everything. That's all we are doing. They make you local government chairman. They make you governor. They make you president. Vice, all you want to do is to renovate a house that doesn't need renovation.
And now to security matters. A group of young people in Plateau State wants the federal government to urgently address the ongoing violent killings in parts of the state. Unknown gunmen have killed more than 1,000 since 2023, while at least 30,000 people have been displaced by the violence, according to Amnesty International. News Central's correspondent Chizoba Ait-Nouri tells us more.
The Plateau Youth Council in Riom local government area says the resurgence of these killings within the council, which they say are unprovoked, now leave the locals in fear and untold suffering.
The marauding activities of these armed militias have continued to dispersing indigenous communities of their heritage and means of survival, and displacing several more thousands of our people into life of destitute and uncertainty. However, it should be noted that our patience, rooted in our belief in justice and rule of law, has been stretched to its absolute limit.
While commending efforts of key state actors at containing the attacks, they urge them to be more responsive.
While we acknowledge and appreciate the effort of security agencies and government at all levels, local, state, and federal, in curbing these attacks, it is imperative to state unequivocally that such effort, however commendable, cannot be seen as enough. The people of Riom have exhibited extraordinary patience. This patience, however, should not be mistaken for weakness, apathy, or an invitation for further aggression.
Meanwhile, media officer of Operation Safe Haven, Major Samson Zakom, says his men are leaving no stone unturned in ensuring the safety of both lives and property in the state.
In the last few days, some attackers have been arrested, some have been neutralized through intelligence-based operation. Our troops are not relenting in keeping both the hinterland and the metropolis safe. Troops have been strategically deployed and are constantly embarking on both foot and vehicular patrols to deny this miscreant freedom of action.
With agitations in some quarters for more results from the security agencies, government at all levels are also urged to wade in to save the state from further chaos. In Plateau State, for News Central, Chizoba Ait-Nouri.
And off to South Nigeria, where the chairman of the Ughelli North Local Government Area of Delta State, Jaro Egbo, has confirmed that 7 children are missing in Agbaro, as opposed to the 26 children announced by the community women. Agbo made this statement shortly after the Security Council meeting held at the local government secretariat in Ughelli. News Central's correspondent Austin Azu has the details.
Agbaro women have recently held a peaceful protest to draw attention to the alleged disappearance of 26 children from their community over the past few months.
What I want government to do for me, I want to make the try possible best. Make the video the community. Anywhere where they had my lucky Eriga, make the search out.
The council chairman, Jaro Egbo, visited the community where he met with the victims' parents, traditional ruler, DPO, and scheduled a Security Council meeting for Tuesday at the council secretariat in Ughelli. The Security Council meeting consists of all the DPOs in Ughelli Command, other security agencies, victims' parents, chiefs from Agbaro Kingdom, among others.
This is called as a further deliberation on our missing children, stealing of our children in Agbaro.
The chairman addresses the press on the outcome of the meeting.
But let us correct this impression. 26 children aren't missing. For now, we've been able to establish that 7 are missing. It is very painful that 7 children will be missing. The police, all the security agencies were not put on alert. I don't want to indict the police, but they all said they went to the police, and in the process, they were not fairly treated. Let's say that they did not get good response from the police. That is what they said, they alleged. And so, because we are not satisfied with what the police were doing, we have now referred the matter back to area commander to do proper investigation to unearth those 7 children that are missing. We have taken their photographs, we have taken the names of the mother of the victims. We've also set up a 5-man committee headed by Shifokoro to liaise between the victims and the police. And also, if they need them, they can bring them here. If they want lawyer, we'll provide lawyer for them. If they want any assistance, we'll do that for them.
The council chairman also revealed efforts to forestall any further actions capable of truncating the peace in the community.
These scavengers, the Ayo Condemned people, their activities are suspended for now in Agbaro, because the immigration people told us that most of them are not properly profiled. So because they're not profiled, we don't know who is doing this. So for now, we have resolved that scavenging, which is Ayo Condemned, is for now suspended in Agbaro Kingdom, the whole of their communities. 2, that they should be very vigilant to ensure that this doesn't repeat itself, and also to educate their children, because the rumor we hear is that most of this is linked to Yahoo business, ritual killing. So as a government, we want to follow up this case to the letter, to everything, to ensure that this doesn't repeat itself. And that if anybody is involved, we'll bring them to book.
The panel is expected to submit its reports within 2 weeks. In Ughelli for News Central, Austin Azu.
And off to education, as education experts in Nigeria are urging swift action to integrate artificial intelligence into the basic and secondary school curriculum, warning that the country risks falling behind global standards. While some see the move as a step in the right direction, others argue that Nigeria may not be ready for such a shift. News Central's Omolala Ololade reports.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, is rapidly transforming how people teach and learn, and that is fueling calls from educationists for its quick adoption in Nigeria's basic and secondary schools. For many students, AI is already a part of their academic journey, offering support that enhances their learning experience.
When I'm done with the work, I'll just copy it and paste then to AI. Then I'll tell you that, okay, how can I improve in this essay and stuff? So AI will just help me to say, okay, this is where you should do better. The punctuation you see here is wrong, the grammatical. That's what AI will just do for me.
AI just makes learning fun. There are some apps that actually convert your your questions, your notes into quizzes, and that will help you learn it more. To assimilate everything properly and better and faster.
While AI is proven to be a useful tool, some students believe integrating it into the school curriculum is still premature for Nigeria, citing infrastructural and policy limitations.
In Nigerian secondary schools, students have to juggle between 12 to 15 subjects daily on a timetable, resulting to heavy workload. The National Education Policy emphasizes that our focus should be on the core foundational skills in literacy, numeracy, and critical thinking, which are essential for the holistic development of students.
Teachers also share similar concerns, highlighting plagiarism as a growing challenge.
We encounter lots and lots of plagiarism in their work, and most of their jobs or assignments they turn in are usually very similar. Most of articles they submit to the school are usually similar, the same format and all other things like that.
It's giving us challenges because when you see the essay written by a student you know in your class as take home and the one the child writes in school, these are two different contents, and you begin to wonder how.
Educationists argue that introducing AI into the classroom must go hand in hand with a complete overhaul of the school curriculum to meet the demands of 21st century learning.
Artificial intelligence should be, and the apparatus, what we are learning, curriculum we are learning now is retrogressive. Completely, it has no bearing to the new world order. So it means that there are some courses in the next few years will no longer be relevant to the new world order.
There is no doubt AI could be a game changer for Nigeria's education system, but both students and educators agree the government must invest significantly to bridge infrastructure gaps and tackle ethical concerns before AI can be fully integrated into schools. In Lagos for News Central, Omolola Ololade.
A number of civil society groups are in the High Court in Johannesburg to seek relief against Operation Dudula and its leaders. Kopanang Africa Against Xenophobia, the South African Informal Traders Forum, Inner City Federation, and Abalili Base Mbudulu are pushing back against the organization for what they are calling their xenophobic and unlawful behavior. They're also accusing the state of failing to act against this conduct. For more on this, we're joined by the legal advisor, African Diaspora Global Network, and he joins us live from Johannesburg. You're welcome to the program, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the invite, and greetings to the viewers.
Thank you. Let's just get started, shall we? What legal grounds are civil society groups likely to base their case on in seeking relief against Operation Dudula?
Well, look, obviously, the first thing is obviously going to be looking at the hate speech that is peddled by Operation Dudula against, migrants, which include discrimination, which is against the South African Constitution, and that is also against the National Action Plan. The National Action Plan has actually become an act which basically, deals with, xenophobia and any other form of hate speech and racism against any other person. So these are the fundamental, pieces of legislation that they're going to be, basing against it, and also looking at the issue of equality, that, there is equality amongst all people that live in South Africa, and no one should be treated differently. And the mere fact that the police and the Department of Home Affairs have failed to act against, these kind of actions, it clearly means that they have violated the principle in terms of the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act, which is PAJA, which requires that, all government departments must act against any action that is unlawful.
You are the legal advisor, so I have to ask you, and hopefully I don't make you speculate, right? But what possible rulings could the High Court issue in this case, and what would each mean? What would this ruling mean for civil liberties and xenophobia in South Africa?
Look, in terms of civil liberties, what it basically means is that it's not going to interfere with civil liberties for starters, because it is actually going to be coming against, the prosecution of, people that are acting against the law. We have seen this in other cases. If you remember in South Africa, in the case of Standard Bank, where, a person had called, blacks monkeys and all that. So it does not say that it's curtailing, the fact that one has got freedom of speech or freedom of, coming together. But it basically says that in your freedoms, you may not infringe on other people's freedoms. So civil liberties are going to continue, unabated unless they become unlawful in one's civil liberties that they're exercising. They infringe on other people's, liberties. And obviously, what we're looking at is obviously that the High Court is likely going to issue an interdict that in whatever, gatherings and whatever that the Dudula Operation Dudula believes in, they may not say anything that fends xenophobia or hatred, because it is a form of hate speech, because the strong language that is used against migrants include banning them, killing them, kicking them out. So the High Court is likely to issue an order that xenophobia, Operation Dudula is prohibited or interdicted from using any hate speech, from stopping people, that are of migrant origin and requesting IDs from them. And one of the issues that is being challenged is Section 41 of the Immigration Act, which means it's likely going to stop, people being searched without a warrant. And we're also looking at a situation, for example, where we expect that, the High Court may order that should any case be opened against anyone that is, peddling hate speech against, migrants living in South Africa, a civil suit, should therefore be opened.
I want us to ask about the legal obligations that the South African government has to prevent and respond to xenophobic violence and unlawful activities like those that are alleged against Operation Dudula.
Well, it has a very, huge obligation in the sense that, for starters, you will realize that the government is the protector of all that live in South Africa who should enjoy, these liberties. So, and all of them should enjoy unfettered, residence in South Africa. And migrants or foreigners living in South Africa, a lot of them are permanent resident holders. A lot of them, have got work permits, and a lot of them are asylum seekers or refugees. And they are deserving of the protection, of the government. And if anyone has violated the law, they're expected to be treated in terms of the law, not to be treated, with the hatred that comes from ordinary, ordinary citizens fighting against each other. So the government has a duty to ensure that there is no chaos in the country. The government has a duty to ensure that, people live harmoniously. That's why you have had programs that include social cohesion games where migrants and citizens come together to interact and share and learn to live in harmony without, fighting over issues that are beyond them but are government's responsibility.
Well, Vusi, I must say thank you for taking out time to join us. And welcome back. Nairobi residents are voicing growing concern over Kenya's struggling economy, particularly the high cost of living and youth unemployment. Despite being seen as a relative economic success in East Africa, the country faces mounting pressure following a challenging year. Many citizens, especially small-scale traders and informal workers, are finding it difficult to make ends meet as profits decline and prices rise. Unemployment among young people remains a critical issue, fueling frustration and economic insecurity. While Kenya has maintained some economic stability in the troubled region, the gap between growth indicators and everyday realities continues to widen. Addressing job creation, especially for the youth, and reducing the cost of living are now seen as urgent priorities for both policymakers and citizens. As we approach the second round of earnings season for 2025, we take a look back at the earnings from the previous year, this time examining the contribution of foreign subsidiaries, to Nigerian banks' profit. A recent report that in 2024, 5 Nigerian banks generated a combined 1.695 trillion naira in pre-tax profit from their foreign subsidiaries, which accounted for 33.5% of their combined group profit of 5.060 trillion naira. Earlier on Business Edge, Ayokunle Olubumi, the head of financial institutions ratings at Augusto & Co., mentioned factors that aided the revenue growth. Take a look.
In 2024, we had about 40% devaluation of the naira. So if you now look at that vis-a-vis these foreign subsidiaries where they earn in foreign currency, you notice that the valuation actually bloats the actual performance of some of those subsidiaries. Having said that, what we've seen over the years is that the Nigerian banks tend to they're updating their strategy, trying to see how they can make the subsidiaries more profitable. Also, like someone will say that if you can succeed in Nigeria, it's going to be very easy for you to actually, I would say that, let me say it will be too difficult for you to succeed elsewhere. So you could say that the terrain in Nigeria is more difficult than what you have in other areas. So in all the other countries. So you see the banks trying to retool, change their strategy, working on some of the things that they've done. And also the beauty of it is that if you check some of these countries, the Nigerian market seems to be somewhere ahead of them. So you see that some of the innovation and some of the things that they are saying in Nigeria, they are exporting it into these markets. And that also accounted for the increased performance of this subsidiary. Having said that, we need to also take into account the devaluation of the naira. So to see that by the time you even remove the impact of the deval,
Manchester City have confirmed the €4.65 million signing of AC Milan midfielder Tijjani Reijnders on a 5-year deal. The 26-year-old Netherlands international becomes Pep Guardiola's fourth summer addition, following Ryan Ait-Nouri and Marcus Battinelli, as well as Ryan Cecchi. Now, Tijjani joins in time for the U.S. World Cup. Joins in time for the U.S. the Club World Cup in the U.S. and could debut on 18th June against Wired FC. Now, City opted against pursuing Bayern Leverkusen's Florian Wirtz due to cost, instead securing 4 signings for around €108 million, less than Wirtz's €127 million valuations. Now, Tijjani, named Serie A's midfielder of the season, scored 15 goals in 54 games last term. With Kevin De Boerne's departure, he is expected to play a key role as City aim to improve on last season's third-place finish. Well, a huge welcome to him to the city, and that's all that we can take at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Appeal Court has struck out Senate President's motions, imposes 100,000 naira fine over Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaha's suspension. The River State Soil Administrator said the state's 2025 budget proposal anticipates the return of suspended Governor Sirinalayi Fubara. And we also told you that Kenyans are groaning in the face of high cost of living and rising unemployment. Now, do remember that you can send us your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number now showing on the screen. And make sure to follow us on social media. We're at News Central TV on all social media platforms. You can always watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Go TV channel 23, Star Times channel 274. Find us on Apple TV, and you can stream us live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Judith TV. Bye for now.